Hello and welcome to the Influencer Studio, and thank you so much for watching online. Today it's very a great privilege to have someone from London here in the studio, and this is Nelson Mandela, and he has a very famous name. And this guy was very historic. He had a great name, and we're going to speak about that also. But you are here. Welcome, Nelson, to London.
Thank you. Thank you very much, Pastor Dan.
So, my first question for you is, who are you?
Who am I? Interesting. My name is Nelson Mandela, and over the time I like introducing myself as Mandela. Very very few people know about Nelson, so I've taken over Mandela. I've just recently graduated from Coventry University with a master's in engineering business management. Uh, Prior to that, I have a degree in aerospace system engineering. Uh, and pretty much, and above all, I'm part of the youth leadership team in Higher Heights Church, the Seamless Youth, which each and every time I always have to talk about that because I draw a lot of inspiration from the the youth in Higher Heights Church. Yeah, thank you.
Yes, welcome. And you are married, right? A few weeks ago, you had, you had a
Ye-
wedding
Yes.
in the
Yeah.
Corona time.
Yeah.
You wanted to make a
During
big celebration, right?
Yeah, it's one of those things. Having planned for a very big, elaborate
Wow.
celebration, you had everything planned out and all this, but then Corona came,
Wow.
and we had to we make the decision to get married regardless of Corona. So from a party of around 350 to just 4 people. Yeah, that's the lockdown wedding. Yeah, so and we are very happy about that.
Yeah. At least you are married, but you wanted to have a different celebration, right?
Yeah, we wanted the pomp and glamour that comes with
Yes.
the marriage with the wedding celebration, but that will come in later on when all this is finished.
Wow. Yeah, Corona
Yeah.
changed a lot. So how is life in London in Great Britain right now?
Yeah, we
The
mm,
newspaper and a lot of things, but maybe you can say it in a different
yeah,
way.
we are adjusting to, they say, adjusting to the new normal. One of the things that personally I've missed is just going to church, hugging each other, embracing each other. Yeah, that has changed nowadays. You even if you meet somebody, you're very skeptical about hugging them because you might want to hug them, but they don't want to hug you. So a lot of things have changed. The way people relate, people are very afraid, and yeah, such is life. But above all, we also thank God for such platform. We are able to reach out in the
Yes.
virtual world, so which is also a good thing.
Yeah. Who are you? That was my first question. And also, I want to ask you, what are you most passionate about? What do you like the most?
What I like the most, I love seeing people happy. I love making a difference in other people's life. It might be just from a little thing like just an, a phone call or just sending somebody a text, just checking on them. As long as that brings a smile in their life, I'm very happy about that. And also to the big things like taking part of like community initiatives or even just getting involved in some of the activities which are happening overseas that through just making a difference. That one, when somebody's happy, I'm happy, and yeah.
That's great. You know, this was the idea to start this series, that to bring people on stage, which who maybe are not that famous, but influencing the world in a positive way. And you are also like someone who is starting to influencing more and more the world. And I saw you serving in the church. That's why I ask you. You not only have a famous name, you also have some ideas for the future, for your future, and this is really, really, really cool to see that. But before we go into these questions, I just want to ask you a little bit more who you are, that people really feel and see who you are. What makes you laugh out loud?
What makes me laugh out loud? That's
The question
that's a
now.
good question. Yeah, the question makes me laugh out loud. Um, I like being happy, and by seeing other people happy, that makes me happy. But I love sharing jokes. I love watching comedy, and some of the comedy that I watch, some people won't find it very, very funny. So yeah, I love watching my stand-up comedy time. It'll get me bursting out in laughter.
Cool. What was your favorite thing to do as a kid?
Favorite thing to do as a kid, just being very handy. Like I so part of my life, I I grew up in back in Africa, in Kenya, to be precise, and they being very handy, and even like practically making our own toys and all that. So that brought a lot of joy in my life. And I remember, like, I would engineer and build my own nice toy car. I used to love, like, building the trailers out of just wires and all that. So I
You think that's maybe the reason why you're an engineer? Maybe.
Yeah, I think that really contributed to what the career path that I'm following right now. Just I'm a very practical and a handy person, I would say.
What would you say? What is your favorite book besides the Bible? Do you have one?
Besides the Bible, wow. I was gonna say I've read a lot of autobiographies. I've read some inspirational books, how to be successful, how to live a godly life and all that. But then again, I was just like, they are good, but I wouldn't say they're my favorite, because I draw a lot of inspiration. I just love the Bible nowadays, because it has, like, everything that we need. But also I also like appreciating other people's work. And at the moment, we are currently reading with one of our small group, like the Model Man.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, so yeah, that's the current what we are looking at currently.
Okay, check it out,
Yeah.
The Modern Man. Maybe this is one of the books that you should also read in the next few weeks during the summertime. What would you say, and maybe we're going to focus a little bit more on your life principles. What are your values, why you do what you do, and the third part of this series is always that you can also ask questions from the audience, and we're gonna answer, or you're gonna answering it. So, what would you say? What is one of the basic value that you have in your life? Because you have some plans for the future. You are still in the beginning of your career, but what is the basics of everything? What will you say in your life? What drives you? Why you do what you do?
Why I do what I do? I have I have a lot of things that drive me, but when it boils down to just mentioning a few things that uh, drive my life and to where I'm going at the moment. I'm at a point of where integrity speaks a lot to me, and just integrity in the sense like as I still consider myself as a young man,
Mm.
the life that I portray in public, is it the life that I live in my private life? Because you find case scenario that most of the people nowadays, or a lot of young men, a lot of young people are two-faced. You'll find the life that they are leading in their private is not, or rather what people see is not the actual
Yes.
person that they are in private. So that has really shaped how I look at things, and I really try to be very authentic. I really try to be very real. When you want to know about Mandela,
Yes.
this is the Mandela you'll get outside, maybe like in a Christian setting, like in a church or in a youth group. And this is the Mandela when you come back at home. This is the person that you'll get at home. And integrity has shaped the way I lead life, or the way I also look at things, just like with even on how you look at some simple things like just how you handle your or rather how I'm handling my finances, and how like also just being very real to the point that okay, I'm able to say the truth as it is. I won't cover something, or I won't sugarcoat something just to pacify. You know, people like, okay, if it's good, it's good. If it's not good, I'm gonna be that brother, or I'm gonna be that bro who's gonna tell you, you know what you're doing is not good. So you better change on that. So that has really, integrity speaks a lot. And
So you said also that you want to become a politician, that you want to start also a politic career, and maybe if you would become the president of Kenya, for example, so
yes.
integrity is one of your most important value, right? Yeah.
It's very important to me that when you be in a leadership position, people can or the youngest person or the small children can look up to you and say, I really admire that person, and
Yeah.
I really want to be like that person.
Yeah.
So you find like leadership. Most of I'll speak from Africa, because I've been there, and I've seen how the things are done down there. So you find that corruption is a norm there, and this will like embezzlement of funds, and just doing the wrong things to benefit just a few elite population. But that's not very good. You find that, oh, okay, what should happen? Like everybody should benefit from this thing. So as a leader, like when you have integrity, you live, or you lead a life by what you say.
Yeah.
You don't say A and you mean another thing. So yeah, that's really dear to me. And even just the way you say it, like when I look at the political dream or the career that I have in politics. So you have to be a man of integrity.
It's very important what you are saying, because now we are in the middle of these core values that maybe it's most very important also when you, as a leader or someone who wants to be influential, is 100% trustworthy, and people want to see that someone to whom they can trust. So you saw corrupt politicians in Kenya. Did you make any experiences there?
Yeah, there are a lot of things that have happened that don't really mean well to the normal man or normal Kenyan. Like even right now, there's a lot of some corrupt cases going on. So it's good that also the system is trying to catch up with the people who have been corrupt and all that, but it's not being done to a large scale. So yeah, personally, I've had like first-hand experience and seen what's happening, like with the government or with even just not just the government, also just to the lower level of just like a small organization. Like you have to, when you want something to be done, you have to be corrupt or you have to give something in favor. Like when I talk about something, you have to give money to get like an essential service, which is your basic human right. So yeah.
And besides that, I saw you serve also in a youth ministry. I saw you serve on stage as a worshipper, and it was really for me it was really very nice to see that you have. You said once that you are very ambitious and career focused, and that you have your goals, that you have your goals also in the university, but in the same time you are serving also in the church. And for me this was really a highlight to see you serving and how you did it. And what would you say, what is important for that, so that people can become a serving attitude? Otherwise, when you only serve out of religious ambitions, maybe this is not the best intention. But what do you think? What is important when people serve also in the church, for example?
Well, this is more of like a personal conviction, but also like when you look at a greater perspective. When I serve in church, I make a difference in a big or a small way, and I would say like I'm still volunteering in church, and there's a lot of fulfillment that comes with it. At times, the experience and the exposure, just like in the worship or in the worship ministry, gave me an opportunity to how to express myself, how to be confident, and at times, some people would see that it's just a church, but even when you go out in the career, in the marketplace, when you want to do something, you have to be confident. You have to have personal skills. So I was building it in church, and also just the opportunity also to learn new things in church just by being available. Because I would say after that, Pastor Dan, I was able also to learn more about being a lighting technician. So I came from the praise and worship to more of to the back ministry, where I used to control the lights. I used to set up the lights, and yeah, there was a lot of fulfillment in doing that, just to see that I'm making a difference in my own small way. So yeah.
So you thought it's not something that would hinder your career when you work in the church as a volunteer. So it's not a hindrances, right?
I wouldn't. It's not a hindrance. In fact, it's a plus. Even when it comes to writing your CV or your resume, it's a plus, because they can see that you can do something out of your own heart without even being paid or without being recognized, to benefit other people. So I would say it doesn't hinder you from going further, because even when I was serving in church, I used to live like 93 miles from where I was going to university to where the church church was, and I was still able to just manage my time, go for church, come back, focus on my studies, and
So you
I've
also
graduated.
said, yeah, you also said that one of your core principles for life and what you drives is the the knowledge and the deep knowledge that you are beloved from God and that you are a God lover, right? How
Yeah.
is how do you describe your relationship with God?
How do I describe my relationship with God? I would say that salvation is the best thing that ever happened to me. Having made, I was, and I might still not be a perfect man, but just by Christ being in me makes a big difference on how I relate with people, how I make certain decisions. Because at times when I have to make a decision, I have to pray about it. Uh, how I look at other 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 things, or how I look at life, it's very different because I love God and I know that He loves me back, and he has my back. So it changes the whole perception of how I look at things in a good way, and it's a guiding principle of my life. That's why I say I'm a God lover, and the love of God. I won't everything I do. It's always for His own glory.
So Nelson Mandela, very important what you were saying. Nelson Mandela, the famous one who you are not that famous yet, but maybe one day you will be also famous like Nelson Mandela, who was the first black president from South Africa, and who did a lot of good. So what would you say? Why would you be engaged more in politics in the future? What drives you to do that? What is do you have a dream like Martin Luther King?
My
When he
my,
was
my,
saying,
my, my
my dream, I have a dream.
I have a dream.
Because I
I
think
have
when you're saying I have a plan, you do not affect a lot of people because then the people are bored. But when you say I have a
yeah.
dream, which is really also emotionally, it brings people to move or moves people. That this would be maybe make a big difference. Also for Kenya, right? You love your country back
I
in
I
Kenya.
I I love my country, and I have just to say I have a dream to see that having lived in the West, having lived in England all these years, I've seen how system work. I've seen how the government serve. It's meant to serve its people.
Mm.
I want to live up to that day. I would see like even the people in Kenya get like the basic needs without a sweat, or just because they have Kenya is very endowed and very rich in resources from just the natural resources. Like the other day they got petroleum. They have minerals, and these minerals can when they can out of just these minerals, the economy can grow and grow when
Yes.
the right leadership is in place. So I have a dream that one day everybody in Kenya will live a nice, comfortable life without any strife, without wondering, or without uh, being questioning what the next meal is gonna be. So just having the basic needs catered for.
So you want to see that all the resources that comes out of Kenya can be shared for everyone, not only
for
for a small number of people.
Yeah, that's true, Pastor.
And this everything comes out of your relationship to God. So you want to do more in the future, and being more involved in political topics and themes. Um, what would you say? How can we make this planet Earth? How can we do bring a change into this world? What would you say? What would you do for that? So as normal people also, what could we do so that this planet Earth is a better place?
Well, that's a very good question. At the moment, that's to say, my sphere of influence might be very small. I might have like when I look back, the only people that I have at the moment maybe might just be the youth group in church, the seamless youth, and just by encouraging them and just having a mindset change that they can also be or make a difference, as however big or however small, in their own way, and just keeping focus in that. If I start with the small difference in my sphere of influence, I have and I get that influence, it will be also a platform to enlarge the territories. Or okay, if I have 15, I can influence other 30. I can influence maybe 50 in the next few days, or then. And nowadays, you see, like with social media, when you engage positively, people will appreciate what you do, and you can get a voice just with social media, as long as the motive is right and you have a right attitude.
Now I have a question from the audience. What is your dream for the future? So what is your dream for the future? So maybe it's for your personal life. What is your dream? Do you have a dream?
For personally,
it's almost the same question, but
I really want to develop a deep relationship with God, and also I have my career. I've just graduated. I have my career ambition. As I've said, I've done an undergraduate studies in aerospace engineering. I want to make a little or a big difference in my field. I want to get my chartered engineering status, and also finally go into the bigger world of management, and mostly in the engineering field. So that will be, I'm sure, when as I progress in my career, because that will be a big fulfillment to me, and also a big fulfillment and joy to my parents.
Yes, thank you. Yeah, that's very good. Thank you so much. And what do you think? Even the conditions are hard right now. What would you do to reach the goal? So maybe in your profession or in the personal goal, even the condition. I mean, or these persons mean in the coronavirus time, for example, people cannot apply for a job. What do you suggest to do?
The conditions are very, very hard. Also, like for somebody like me, coming from an aerospace aviation background, I just graduated, and there, bam, all airlines are closing. There are people being made redundant, and a lot of bad news have happened over the past few months and the past few days. But then again, that is not a hindrance. Like, you just have to do it right. In regards to the prevailing conditions that is happening right now, there are some other companies which are still employing. So there's a lot of competition out there, but personally, as Mandela, I'm doing the right thing. As I'm still making applications, like the applications that I make in a day, you can't imagine. And also another thing that I'm still volunteering, and one of the hindrance block, I'm just not aiming to get at the top or to get that job that I want. I can also start small,
Yes.
get not the role that I want, but that will be a base to propel me or to give me an opportunity to rise
Yes.
slowly by slowly. So it might not be like a quick entrance into the engineering field, but it might be a gradual step. Start small, but finally I'll hit the destination.
Yes, that's a very good answer. I think this is really very important to know that you are willing to do everything in a time like this and start from the point that you can start and use this opportunity to come to the next level. I'm really very happy with you and thank you so much for answering me all these questions and sharing your time. And we are so glad to have you, and also your future dreams, your future plans should be blessed, and hopefully once you can do a big influence also in Kenya. You're still in the beginning of your career, but I'm sure God will bless you and God will use you and God gives you all the favor that you need to overcome everything and to be successful so that you can succeed in every way, in every area of your life. And also God may bless you, your young marriage, and that you
Thank you.
have a great fulfillment with that.
Thank you very much, Pastor. And just thank you very much also for this opportunity just to share. It's an honor and it's a blessing.
Yes, thank you. And thank you everyone who is watching online right now. You have the opportunity next week at the same time to listen to someone who is leading a leadership college. He is the leader of the German, Swiss and German leadership college called ISTL. His name is Stefan von Rüthi, and I'm sure you can profit from this interview too. And may God bless you, give you a good week. Bye bye.